I'm going to tell you about my favorite lie that I've ever told my wife. Now, I don't lie to my wife very often. I try very hard not to lie to her, in fact, and she doesn't really lie to me, but hers is because she's not very good at it. Like I can, but I just choose not to. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marco Brown. I'm a divorce attorney here in Salt Lake City. So this is 2010. My wife and I had come back to Utah. My wife's name is Demery. She wanted to get a doctorate at the University of Utah. She sings opera, so decided to come back here. And this is 2010. This is not a good year, right? Large law firms are shutting down in San Francisco, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. And we came to a place where I had absolutely no connections. I had no clients. I had no nothing. And no one was hiring. So I start my own law firm. And I just had to work ravenously hard. I just busted my hump the entire time. But in the first about 6 months that I had the law firm, I made, I think, $3,000. I just made absolutely nothing. And I was hiding this from Demery. So I wouldn't tell her about our money problems, really. I mean, we had a little bit, we had some savings that that we'd kind of given ourselves to start this up. And then she had a stipend of about $1,500 from the University of Utah. So we were making do, but we were in a bad way. And I kind of wanted to shield her from that, so I wasn't really telling her this. So come the summer months, she goes to Italy to perform over there. She's singing opera over there. And she leaves and it got really extraordinarily bad at that point. I mean, just absolutely no money's coming in. It's to the point where I am going out and trying to get a job again at law firms. And I told myself I would never get a job at a law firm because I hated it so much. I'd done that before, absolutely hated it. But I was interviewing at these places and just no one's hiring me. I feel really extraordinarily down on myself and my ability to lawyer everything at this point. And I remember there was 1 month where I worked, and again, no one had paid us. And there was 1 month, everybody paid. And everybody paid in like a week. It was $16,000 or $17,000 that I got in a week. And it was like the hand of God came down and said, everything's going to be okay. And I was I was euphoric at that point, right? But it was then that I decided to lie to my wife. So I told her that I was going to be really busy. But what I had planned on doing was buying a ticket and going over to Italy and surprising her. So I did that. And in fact, I got to the line to get on the plane, and I called her. I said, "Hey, sweetie, I got a trial for the next couple days, so I'm not going to be able to talk to you. So love you, but I'll talk to you I'll talk to you on Monday." So then I click the phone off, put it in my backpack. I get on the plane. 14 hours later, I land in Venice. I get a car, drive to the town where my wife is. It's this little town called Nova Feltria. So I get in, I drive there. It takes about 3.5 hours because Nova Feltria is kind of it's on the Adriatic side of things, but it's kind of in the mountains too. So I have to go up through these, windy roads. And I'm in this Fiat Cinquecento, which is a little car. It's a Fiat 500. They sell it here in the United States, but it's a tiny little car. So I'm like weaving up and down in the mountains in this little Cinquecento. And I remember I get to the city, to Nova Feltria, and I have absolutely no idea where to find my wife. So I lived in Italy when I was younger. So I parked the car in some random spot, and I get out and I just start asking people where the theater is. And they, in their very Italian way, tell me where it is. And in Italian, when you ask somebody directions, it's almost always, it's 100 meters that way. And it's just this kind of general direction. So I'd walk, 50, 100 meters and then ask somebody else where it was, right? And eventually I kind of got to the theater. I walked in, didn't know where anybody was. So I'm just like walking around and I see my wife. She's practicing, and then she gets done practicing and she's talking with some people. And eventually she looks around the room and she sees me. And there's this look of complete, not disdain, that's not the word, just surprise, right? Like, why in the world? And she runs over to me and I'm kind of looking around the room as this is happening, and other people are realizing what's happening as well. Like one of the stagehands, I think he's the head stagehand, like realizes what's happening, that I'm her husband, and I surprised her. And he actually starts crying. It was super funny. So she comes over, and we hug. And she's like, "Why are you here exactly?" And I tell her that what had happened, like what we'd actually been going through in our money situation. I'm sharing this with her for kind of the first time, and then that we got paid and we were going to be okay. And it was this huge sense of relief for me that I was able to share this with her, because I was really scared. I was scared for months and months and months, and I tried to hide that from her. And it was just this kind of a rush of emotion. And I'm kind of getting emotional right now, even thinking about it. But once that passed, then the euphoria of the whole thing being there set in. And to this day, we still talk about that story. It's still like one of our favorite stories as a couple. And that is my favorite lie I ever told my wife. So when I kind of want to relate this to people going through divorce and our clients, like, you're scared, right? You're scared that things are ending. You're scared because maybe you've been lying to your spouse. Maybe you've been holding things back. And I get that. I get that fear that you're holding. I've gone through that with my own family, and it's a horrible, horrible feeling, right? To keep that bottled up. Our entire point at Brown Law is to remove that fear, and then to help you maximize your time with your kids and maximize the amount of money you get in your divorce. But many of us have gone through that fear, and if you're feeling that, we're here for you. We're going to listen to you. We're going to give you a game plan, and we're going to get you through this.